hear what you think about the election results from Election Day. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Samantha York. We're continuing our Pulse poll from this morning that asked, after seeing the election results so far, how do you feel about Maine's future? The choices are hopeful, discouraged, and indifferent. And to cast your vote, head over to pulse.newslettermaine.com or hit the Pulse tab on our mobile app.
And we have officially learned that ranked choice voting will decide if Bruce Poliquin keeps his seat in Congress or if Jared Golden is the one heading to Washington.
Yeah, so we don't have 100% of the ballots counted yet, but this race between incumbent Republican Bruce Poliquin and his challenger Jared Golden, a Democrat, is so tight there aren't enough votes left to push either of them over the edge with more than 50%. At last check, with 86% of the votes counted, both candidates had 46%, and Poliquin was ahead by about 700 votes. So Secretary of State Matt Dunlap says the second round of vote counting will take place next week. And just a refresher on how that works: if no one wins a majority, you take the last place finisher, so in this case William Hoare, and eliminate him and reallocate the second choices of people for who voted for him. Then if needed, you'll do the same thing with the ballots for Tiffany Bond.
Meanwhile, on the national political stage, Republicans keep the Senate. Democrats will now control the House. President Trump declared victory, sparred with reporters, and warned House Democrats if they investigate him, he will investigate them. We'll have much more from the nation's capital coming up in our next half hour.
And also, the president asked for and accepted the resignation of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Trump has been critical of Sessions since the AG's decision last year to recuse himself from the investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 election and whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russians. Trump blamed the decision for opening the door to the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller.
House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi says Democrats will, quote, strive for bipartisanship when they take control of the House. Pelosi, who's expected to run for a second stint as Speaker, said Democrats need to seek common ground where they can and stand their ground when they can't. Pelosi says she worked productively with President George W. Bush and would like to do the same with President Trump. We're going to take a look outside, where I am not a scientist. I know you're shocked to hear this. I am not a meteorologist, but today was nicer than yesterday. That is my official opinion.
Yeah, the ranked choice voting is today was by far the #1 choice.
Oh,
I don't have my clicker, so Jess, can you hit the little space bar over there? I wasn't ready to do weather. I thought we had something before that. That's all right. 61 officially in Portland today and 60 across parts of the mid-coast. Satellite had a few clouds in the mountains earlier today, but most of us were sunny pretty much from start to finish. There we go. Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate it. All right, hour by hour forecast. Hey, team player. Hour by hour forecast showing you that overnight tonight is clear, and tomorrow is actually another bright day, but it is going to be about 10 degrees cooler or so, ending up with highs right around 50 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. But again, another bright day. And I'm trying to think, we haven't had too many cases, it seems like, over the past few weeks where we've strung together 2 nice days in a row. So that looks good. It gets pretty chilly on Thursday night and into Friday. We start with some sun on Friday, but then things fall apart Friday afternoon and into Friday night. That's as this piece of energy meets up with this piece of energy in Kansas right now. And guys, that'll be a storm system for us overnight Friday that will feature some snow. So we've got a little snowfall map to talk about in a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So for the first time in our state's history, Maine's going to have a female in the Blaine House. Governor-elect Janet Mills is in Farmington this afternoon celebrating her big win in her own hometown.
Yes, and that's where we find our Lindsay Mills live there for a celebration. Hey, Linz.
That's what we're going to do in the Blaine House. Hey, I'm thrilled to be back in town, so let's party!
All right, everybody. Janet Mills left it at the homestead. She arrived just moments ago, greeted by many of her supporters here in Farmington out on the sidewalk. It was a beautiful day here today. It was like 55 degrees at one point. So people were out and about. We talked to so many of her supporters. They say that they know her. She's a name in the community, and they've known her and her family for decades. But they hope when she goes to the White House, she continues. She has their back. You guys.
I'm so excited that Janet got elected. Been waiting for her to be there for a long time.
There's something about voting for one of your own.
Siri Stinson says she's proud of the support her community showed Governor-elect Janet Mills at the polls.
You know, she's a part of the community, not just, you know, a name or a face that is associated with Farmington. She's actually present, and I don't know how her being governor will shift that. I hope it doesn't change it too terribly much, because I think that's important.
A shift in leadership, though, is what others are looking forward to.
I hope that Governor Mills is going to be more compassionate to the workers and to the people in this state, and there are many who are struggling economically. You can't keep cutting back social programs.
Local business owners like Ernie Scholl have known Mills and her family for decades. We stopped in Everyday Music, where they just started making this sign to set on the sidewalk.
She's a person that should accomplish some good things for the state.
All right, so we actually had to move outside because you should see how packed it is in there. I think you got a little glimpse of that. We also did talk to some college students today of Maine Farmington, and they say they did vote. And although they're not from this area, they say that they're happy to see some women in leadership. And coming up tonight on News Center Maine at 6 o'clock, you're going to hear live from Chris Costa with more on this homecoming of sorts at the Homestead. Live in Farmington for News Center Maine, I'm Lindsay Mills. I'll send it back to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Lindsay. So the last few weeks leading up to the midterm elections, they've been exhausting with the political ads, the campaign signs, there's robocalls, text messages, you name it.
Yeah, a lot of all of those things. But now that the ballots have been cast, what is next? We found out what everybody at home is looking forward to in just a few words.
2 and 3 tours of duty.
Lately, things have sounded a lot like this.
The business at age 17 after a career of
All right, glad that's over. And now that we have some quiet, what are people looking forward to after the election in 3 words or less?
To the snowboard season.
Peace and quiet.
Positive change. 2 words.
The new year.
People coming together.
More positive change?
Hopefully.
How come?
It's America and it's changing.
That's what gets me through the winter.
It just feels like we're finally going to get somewhere.
What about you?
Cold weather's over. New year, new start.
Get out and just do your best every day and try to make the streets better.
Hopefully we'll have some peace now and live in a safe country.
All right, so we also heard from a bunch of you on Facebook. I just want to go through some of these. So Tina said for her 3 words, healthy and happy. Oh, Chris Costa chimed in here. He said sleep and food. I'm right there with you. Wow. Right there with you. Jeff says Netflix, pizza, family. Love it. Okay, and favorite post, shout out to my mama bear, Diane. She and all of her co-workers posed for this picture. Let's read some of their signs. Isaac, are we going to get it up here? Maybe, hopefully. Picture of, there it is. There's my mom right there in the front with a baby picture of me.
With my girl.
Yes. All right, so we got ready for winter. Oh, you're crazy. Playing with grandchildren.
Is that Jess calling?
Nice. No.
Just wondering. Feels like something she would say.
Right?
So.
Lots of great answers.
Very nice. Thank you guys for all your answers. That is great, great stuff. All right, we want to update our polls poll, which we asked you earlier on in the show about how you feel about the election results so far. Here's where we stand right now. 52% of you say you are hopeful following yesterday's and in some cases today's results. 47% of you say you are discouraged, and about 1% of you are indifferent to the results as they stand.
Not bad.
There you go. All right, how about this? A house that took 25 hours to make. Yeah, we're going to show you just how that is possible.
And a community comes together to make a life better for one Iraqi war vet. Wow, it is really hard to read prompter.
What's going on, Facebook? I'm coming, guys. I just got to get it loaded up here, so hold on. Hold on. I can't actually find you right this second, so hold on a second. Oh, now I found you. Now I found you. All right.
Friends, family, happiness. All right.
I love technology.
But it doesn't load?
Well,
So here, I
sometimes it
have
works,
this here.
sometimes it doesn't work. It's fine. Either way, I'm easy to please. Oh, here we go. Okay. Joe, friends, family, happiness.
Yep.
Tranquility is a great thing, says John. Hello, Paul. And
Bring on the
Steve.
snow, Michelle. Oh my goodness, I'm not ready for it.
Let's see. J-Bar giving a little credit to the News Center Maine election team. I would agree. Everybody was shining last night. Thanks, Big John. Appreciate it. J-Bar, tomorrow, I think we go back to our regular.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Actually, 11 tonight.
Pleasure.
I think they're going back.
So that will be nice. Creatures of habit. So yeah, that's where we're at. I know, Nicole, I'm with you. No snow. Not yet. It's gonna, I mean, it can come eventually. No, J-Bar, she was not sleeping. She had to go to Farmington, where you guys could kind of see her and kind of hear her.
I know that,
Not
yeah.
the best
There were a lot of
reception in
people there, though.
Farmington. Yeah.
So that's probably why. That can.
Looking to upgrade the Wi-Fi. Didn't Governor-elect Mills talk about that in her profile, that they need better cell service in Maine because her grandkids were complaining about it? Saudi Arabia has used 3D printing technology to build a house that is said to be the very first of its kind in the Middle East. It's pretty interesting. It's a mix of concrete, water, and other materials. They're pumped through the 3D printer. It pours out a hybrid of concrete mortar that hardens as it is printed. Now that produces layers of construction materials. Developers used thermal insulation technology for the home to withstand Saudi Arabia's high temperatures and tough weather conditions. It took 25 hours to construct an 800 square foot unit.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, and Facebook is opening up its first pop-up shops, teaming up with Macy's to show off goods from 100 small businesses and online brands. Facebook organized the merchants to be part of the Market at Macy's, which first launched earlier this year to create temporary spaces for businesses. Merchants keep all the money they make. The 9 pop-ups are open now until February 2nd, although none of them are in Maine.
The grocer Aldi, don't know where that is selling its first ever wine advent calendar in the United States. The calendar will feature 24 mini bottles of 12 different varieties of wine. The 24 small bottles are equal to 6 full bottles of wine. Costs about $70 for this. Aldi is also offering up a cheese advent calendar with various imported variety.
You had me at cheese, Lee. You had me at cheese.
Now we know what to get you for Christmas. There you go.
Cheese and, well, mostly cheese. All right, we're still a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving, but the Butterball Turkey Talk Line is officially now open for the holiday season, and for the first time ever, you can get your hands-free support from Amazon Alexa with the new Butterball skill. All right, once enabled, users can ask cooking questions using the Butterball skill and get answers from Talk Line experts. You can also call, text, email, live chat, or get expert advice on social media. Butterball says more than 50 million people have reached out to the Turkey Talk Line in the past 40 years. That sounds like me calling my mother, the Turkey Talk Line.
Well, that's getting us ready for Thanksgiving morning, where I will once again, for the 3rd year in a row, be going Facebook Live with the turkey prep. It's one of the most popular things I do every year. People love to watch the turkey preparation at some ungodly hour in the morning.
Why not?
We'll be there, kids. All the animals, the kids, will all be there. It's going to be a circus, I promise.
Yes.
Pulse results, here we go. Still pretty close. 52% of you saying you're hopeful because of the election results have come in so far. About 47% say discouraged, and that same
Still
1% very indifferent with how things are going. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, a veteran gets a new home. That's a story you will want to see, and it's coming up next on Now. And I guess,
here we go.
Well, we're going to see this guy.
How do we feel about Keith's? Oh, wow.
I had that in 2007, actually.
Oh.
Wasn't even here
Exactly.
Jess and I were being like the two Muppets when you were talking about your turkey preparation. You're like, one of the most popular things we were like, that's a low standard. Like,
yeah. Fake news. Fake news. Oh, okay. Thank you, Marie.
Because I was just reading that. Huh.
Think I can get it in that wastebasket over there near schools?
No.
I mean, I don't think I could probably even throw this thing that far.
It's not heavy enough.
What do you want?
The science behind it, Keith, will tell you
the mass is
exactly that you don't have enough x of the y to equate to the z.
Oh.
Plenty of gusto. Plenty. It's been working out.
Oh.
That jacket's really tight on you. You've been getting big. You got bigger muscles.
It's too huge.
Ah. Too big. Too big.
I was 168 lately.
That's how much you weigh now?
Yep.
We're heading to the newsroom shot.
You know?
Are we going? We're going to a newsroom shot, Ethan?
We are.
Right now?
Right now. Right now. We are
This is
walking
News
to
Center
the news.
now.
Come on, kids. We're going to the newsroom.
That's okay.
Come with us.
Is she a producer? Yeah. That's cool.
It's velvet.
Velvet.
It's very nice.
Thank you. Oh. Sorry about it.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. It's usually just where Lindsay likes to say bye. You know, over there.
That's fine.
I don't care.
Leading up to Veterans Day, we're showing. I would say, do you say veterans or veterans?
Better.
Veterans Day. Leading up to Veterans Day, we're showcasing 5 heartwarming stories from Heart Threads. So we're showcasing 5 heartwarming stories from Heart Threads.
Hang on.
Oh boy.
All right, leading up to Veterans Day, we're showcasing 5 different stories from Heart Threads.
Stories about our service members, past and present. It's a good time to blow dry your hair in the middle of the newscast.
Who do you think?
Jeez. It's okay, we're not doing anything.
Well, we have this on Saturday and this on Sunday. Well, which one do we want to do more? Pick one because we'll only make it to one, and then the other day I'm going to have to take and lay in bed.
You don't really think about a house being handicap accessible when you're 25 years old.
It's nice to be able to see that there is help, that America loves us.
You know, we see the stories all the time, and so much support for our veterans, it seems, lately, and which is in a lot of cases overdue, and in a lot of cases just so touching and warm to see. And obviously, you've seen that with Honor Flight, so
yeah,
it's just great stuff.
I love seeing those.
Good stuff. Veterans Day coming up this weekend, so.
It is Sunday, which actually looks decent. Another nice day tomorrow, but then we're doing the thing we're doing every Friday night, which is it's just terrible. It's just the weather's terrible, so it's all right.
Consistency, though.
I know.
I like
it's really
that.
killing. You know,
like
normally Lee goes to the club on Friday night, but the thing is with the rain, it just doesn't work it out.
Well, it messes up my hair.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, I can't have that.
$10 cover charge per kid, I think, is usually how it works. I'll talk about this later. I don't have time to have this conversation. There's a great commercial, though, that I actually felt like I related to. It made me feel like a dad. All right, 61 in Portland officially for high temperatures today, 60 in Wiscasset. We did really well. You know, the interesting thing is it's only a couple of degrees above average. Yet today, the feeling was that it was just an amazing day because this fall has been so generally cloudy and had fallen into a cooler and rainier pattern. So a day like today really stuck out. Tomorrow will as well. The satellite showing you some clouds in the mountains, most of those dissolving. Will be partly cloudy to mostly clear overnight tonight. Temperatures drop down into the 30s pretty quickly tonight, particularly away from the immediate coastline. Tomorrow is another bright day, though it is not as warm as today. We end up around 50 degrees or so for a high temperature, which is a little bit below average. But again, I think the sunshine offsets it, and the winds will settle too, because it was a little bit breezy today at times, particularly through the middle part of the day into the early afternoon. So siding through the day tomorrow, no problems. Partly cloudy overnight on Thursday night. We start probably with a little bit of sun on Friday morning, but the day will end much differently than it started because clouds start coming in here through the middle of the day on Friday, and then by Friday afternoon our next storm system moves in. It's going to be, call this a Miller type B. It's a low here and then another low here. They'll join right about over Washington, D.C. and then move towards us as an inside runner on Friday night and into Saturday. But because there's cold air in place to begin with on Friday, we'll have a mixture of rain and snow, and the battleground will set up somewhere near Lewiston and Augusta, so it's not going to be, you know, just a mountain event for snow. Initially, it's snowing here 9 o'clock, just cold rain along the coastline, and snowing pretty heavily, maybe even into Freiburg by late Friday night, early Saturday morning before we warm it all up Saturday around 5 or 6 in the morning, and we end it as rain. But because there'll be a period of time where it's snowing relatively heavily, there'll be some pretty good numbers, particularly in the mountains and foothills, 3 to 6 inches, 6 to 8 in some of the higher terrain, and then 1 to 3 across parts of the foothills and just into the interior. And then Lewiston should be an inch and then wash it away with rain, and then just cold rain along the coastline. And then we'll do it again, it looks like, Monday night and into Tuesday. If anything, that storm's just a tad bit colder. So we'll battle rain, snow as we typically do in those spots. So in between, it actually kind of works out. So Saturday afternoon's not bad. Sunday is partly cloudy. It's cool, but not bad and dry. Monday's dry as well. And then we'll watch that snow to mix on Tuesday. But yeah, so Friday night, you know, it's not amazing. The ski areas and some of the mountains will get accumulating snowfall. We're thus far keeping it away from the coastline. We'll see if that changes at some point next week.
Okie doke, November.
Okay, guys.
Yay.
Good stuff. Talk. Thank you. You know what's coming. Here it is. Come on, snap with me. What is snapping it? We had some good animal snaps popping up today.
Love it.
Which we love. The animals here on News 7
it.
Now.
Oh, it's a kitty.
It's a cat in a box.
Oh.
I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know right there.
The box.
That is the
I love
cat
that.
in a box.
Oh, so sweet.
And then you've got a dog, which is hungry.
Oh.
And eating
Oh.
the chair.
Oh, wow.
Right next to the grill, too, dude. Just move to your left a little. There's a grill right there. You can find some better leftovers in that chair, I promise.
Oh, gosh. All right, this election may be over, but there's always another one, and that means never-ending robocalls. So if you've been overwhelmed by the calls, good news, the Federal Communications Commission asked the top telephone and wireless companies to create a system that would better allow you to block those calls. The FCC is asking for a response from providers by November 19th.
All right, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Maine at 5:30. The U.S. House race in Maine between Republican Representative Bruce Poliquin and Democrat Jared Golden is headed to ranked choice count. Maine Secretary of State Matt Dunlap will give us a timetable of how long that process will take.
And Janet Mills had a historic win in the race for governor. We see how she was inspiring and firing up women of all ages.
When we come back, we are dropping some brain. Okay, but we'll still do a pulse poll? Great.
I actually could use it, so.
Keith says he's good. He could use that. Can you just obviously, since I won't be able to see it over there, tell me what the pulse results are?
The problem is that they're all political. I can't read them.
You got Facebook Live pulled up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we don't have any feedback monitor of what we're doing. And at the end, there'll be graphics. So you won't see them if you don't have something.
Well, but it's 45 seconds behind.
Oh, is it that far
behind? Easily.
Wait,
Won't you be able to see it over there?
Yeah, I mean, it will be a delay. It just won't be 45 seconds.
Because wait, I'm not hearing this.
I'm not either.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Oh, it's this one over here. That must be. I don't know what that is.
That's a couple seconds behind there. Still on Super
2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Have Isaac get in your ear when it's up.
Well, I know what the graphics are, but you guys don't. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay. I'll be on
Where do you want to be?
I'll be on this side because I know what the graphics are.
All right, we're going to do the pulse results first.
It's going to be dark AF over here.
I can still see that light in the...
Is that realish? Okay, thank you.
I vaguely remember that.
Is that better?
Yeah. It's just they had you spotlit.
There's this highlight, and then it blocks out whatever's...
Oh, right.
And then I move it too far away. It's like...
Oh, boy. What are the results, Isaac? All right.
Still that 1%.
Are you guys doing anything special in the genre, or just thinking?
All righty, we are back. 52% of you saying you are hopeful with yesterday's and in some cases today's election results. 47% of you saying not so much, and still that 1% hanging on to being indifferent to the results. Thank you for taking part in our pulse poll. We appreciate it. And Keith,
numbers.
What do we got?
Okay, numbers. So, you know, I think there had been a lot of criticism about polls over the past couple of years, and I just want to take a moment and talk about how they performed with this election at the local level and the national level. So what we've done is taken polls, the latest polls that we had, which were late October, and some of the best polls that we had. They're not all created equal, sample size, whatnot, who they're polling. So as of the 29th of October, Mills 50%, Moody 42%. I only chose the more competitive races. Golden 47, Poliquin 46. And then look at where the vote counts are right now. Of course, some of these are still trickling in, but we're going to end up in this vicinity here with Mills at 51.3, Moody at 42.9, Golden at 46, Poliquin at 46, within a couple hundred votes it looks like at this point. So look at the margin of error here. Very, very tight and good polling. That also happened with Angus King and Brakey, although the Democrat, his name is escaping me, did slightly overperform his polling. But the point of this, and let's go to the graphics for the national, it happened nationally as well. So the projections here were that there was a 7 and 8 chance of taking the House from Democrats, and the uncertainty range was anywhere between 25 and 40-something seats is what we're expected, and we're probably at about 35. Now go over to the next one here. The Senate was likely to be Republican within a +3 to +4 Republican margin, or Democrat +1, but the confidence interval had it at a 1 in 5 chance of Democrats taking the Senate. So all of this to say, across the whole country, everything fell into line with the polling. There were a few exceptions with a +5% in Ohio, for example. But the interesting thing is, in 2016, there was a negative connotation to polling because of the presidential run of Donald Trump. The truth is, the polls actually did very well with that race. It's systematic polling error, meaning Donald Trump overperformed by 2 to 2.5% in key states systematically. So he was within the margin of error, which is 3 to 4% for most polls, yet it was systematic. So it went all the way across. Interestingly, Barack Obama did the same thing in 2012, but nobody cared because it was a landslide. So it's just interesting. The polls have been doing well for a very, very long time. The perception wasn't there, but here's another example. If you do it right, it'll get you there.
Pretty much spot on. All right, we're going to get you guys to News Center Maine at 5:30, which starts right now.
Right.
That was fantastic.
All right, Facebook. We'll see you mañana.